Welcome, everybody, to episode number 348 of the OMG Hour. We are your outrageously meaningful gnomes. And, of course, I am Sean Evans, otherwise known as Zion Tane.
And I am Tico, Mr. Second Place, here on the spot where I always sit.
Exactly that spot. I like how last time I was at your place, I noticed you had little X's in the floor to make sure, like on a movie set, that you're exactly where you need to be.
Yeah. You don't have that in your place?
Little gaff tape on the floor. It's excellent. It's good. It's good work.
Yeah, you gotta mark. Well, one of those is actually a pirate treasure, but the other two
X marks the spot.
Yeah, one of them's a pirate treasure. The other two are markings, so I know where to sit.
I forgot.
Eventually, I'll dig up that treasure.
I forgot to show something last week. I meant to show, like I always have my little cube collection here sitting beside me, but I forgot to show that I added a new one last week. I added a 5x5 to my collection. So now I am solving 2x2, 3x3, 4x4, 5x5, and Mega Minx. So I'm actually quite thrilled with 5x5. It's a lot of fun.
What's the biggest they make?
Oh gosh, I think you can get like a 17x17.
Make a bigger one.
They're big, and that's like, what is the point? Like at that point, it's like there's no real point to.
There's no fun. You have to put it down every few minutes to just catch your breath. It's like,
yeah, exactly. Whew. Yeah, right. And they're quite expensive. I've seen them they're hundreds or more dollars for these large ones, but I believe the actual competitions, like the WCA, which is the World Cubing Association, competitions only go up to 7x7. Personally, 5x5 is as high as I wanted to go. I think after that, it's kind of like if you can do 3 through 5, then you can pretty much do 6 and 7 as well. So personally, I don't think there's a point in going higher than 5. That's just the way I'm doing it. But I quite enjoy the ones I've got, 2 through 5 and the Mega Minx. They're a lot of fun. So, yeah, I got my 5x5 and I've been working on that for the last, week and a half or so. And it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it.
Very good.
And how are you doing on the 3x3, Tico?
I am not good at these things. Now, I will tell you all about my lockpicking skills, which have improved.
Oh, right.
Which those should be here any day now. I picked up an more expert set of lockpicks, one for myself and one for Sean. So we are going to eventually have all the skills required for a Fallout type existence.
Excellent.
Giant door with a hole in it. You can see everything in there. We'll be able to pick that lock.
Exactly. I mean, that's the only way in, right? Or if you find a nice treasure chest.
Yeah.
I mean, because obviously, when the fallout happens, there's going to be treasure chests everywhere.
Well, they're more like utility chests. Everybody, randomly. It's like, I got all this stuff. I better put it in a box and lock it and leave it in a random spot.
Yes, exactly. Because that's what everybody has a utility chest, right?
I've got Tupperware containers. I've got those. I got those bins. That's basically what I've got. That's all
snap lid.
If this were an actual apocalypse type thing, you'd be walking a second and you'd be like, oh, and then you'd find all of somebody's weapons and everything in a little
Rubbermaid bin. I mean,
Rubbermaid bin would be it wouldn't be this you wouldn't have to pick locks or anything like that. No. You'd have to peel off the lid of a Rubbermaid bin, and that's assault weapons, everything, grenades would be in there.
Oh yeah, because Rubbermaid's going to survive the apocalypse, obviously.
Yeah, well, it's designed for that.
That's exactly. So
the whole point of Rubbermaid.
I mean, that's where I store all my stuff in the Rubbermaid bins with the little clips on. So there's no lock picking there. But regardless, we will have the skill.
Yeah, we can do it.
Excellent. Good stuff. Well, you know what else we can do?
We can talk about games.
We can. We can also play them.
Yes.
So
played.
Last weekend, of course, was Extra Life, and as you can see on the screen right now, I am currently sitting at $3,761 raised this year for Extra Life, which is unbelievable.
Canadian or U.S.?
That is U.S.
Ooh, that's even better. That's like $18 million Canadian.
Yeah, close to it. No, it's been absolutely fantastic. I still have a whole bunch of games to give away. So, if you're hearing this now, go to bit.ly/extra Sean, check out the list, and $15, and you can choose a game immediately. So basically, donate $15 and tell me what game you want from the list, and it's yours. But yeah, it went fantastic. I played, I think I played 7 games during the course of those 25 hours. I played a lot of the Outer Worlds. I almost said Outer Limits, but that's a TV show.
Yes, that is a TV show.
Yeah, I played a lot of the Outer Worlds. That game it's just so much fun.
It really is. I actually also played a ton of that game. I actually finished the main story to that game this week.
Saturday morning, yeah. So here's what happened. Friday night before, you and I were like, okay, let's play in the morning. You're like, okay, I'll be on. And I said, let me know when you're on, and we'll, give me a shout when you're ready to play some co-op of something. So you jumped on the stream in the morning, said hello, and then disappeared. And 2 hours later, came back with, I finished the Outer Worlds.
Yeah. Listen, it happens. You were playing Outer Worlds at that time, and you seem pretty enthralled in it. I'm like, okay, he's gonna play this for a little bit. I'll hop on and play a little bit too, and I finished the game. I will say this: there's a couple of things about the game without any spoilers to this. It does warn you, when you are going into the last mission, that you're going into the last mission, and that you won't be able to return. I didn't take that to mean like you won't be. I figured at the end of the game, you'll be put back and you can go and finish off some stuff. It is not the case. End of the game, you get credits,
and that is the end of the game. Period.
That is the end of the game. Period. There is not like, hey, go back and finish all of these side quests. So I will tell you this, and it does warn you. It does say that. I just you half read it and whatever. I didn't fully expect. I figured, okay, yeah, I get it. If I'm go now, I'm not gonna be able to come back until I finish the game.
Right.
That's what I read it as. But no, it finishes, it goes to credits. You get to see all the people who worked on the game.
So I have always taken those messages at a precaution, and my precaution being, don't do it until you've finished everything you possibly can. And I've always taken it that way, whether I know or not, because I just like, okay, that's the end of the game. I want to make sure I get everything done. And the other reason I do that, actually, is to make sure I am well prepared for the final mission. Because going back and doing all those missions, you're going to level up a little more, maybe find some more weapons. Although I will say about the Outer Worlds, this game isn't about the loot. It's not a loot shooter. Like, I'm still using weapons I got at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, you can there's a few that are like slight improvements and stuff like that, but you can take that weapon that you got from the beginning of the game. If you like it, you can level up your weaponry.
You can keep tinkering with it, which basically makes it more powerful. So what I'm finding is, in the course of the game, I'm not finding better weapons. I'm just finding different weapons. And if say, I don't want a shotgun, throw away or break them all down. So now you've got material to tinker with the weapons you do like. Or maybe you get I don't even use a machine gun. I don't like the machine guns in the game. So I'm typically using pistols, and I've got a really powerful pistol.
Pistols, and I have a plasma rifle.
Oh, are they? I have one in my inventory.
I like what it does to the enemies because it melts them.
Oh, okay. So I have a plasma. It's a pistol that has a plasma attachment, so the bullets become plasma, and they become ash when they die.
Yeah, and there's a few achievements from the Xbox side where there's certain things like there's science weapons that you can find, and so there's achievements for killing a certain number of people with different weapons and stuff like that.
Okay, so one of the science weapons I have is like a shrink ray, and I'm like, what? Okay, so it literally makes the creature smaller for a very short amount of time.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what is the point? It doesn't actually do damage.
I think you can melee them afterwards or something. I don't know. Like, I think it's maybe for going after like the mantis.
The actual big ones.
Like the mega monsters.
The queen whatchamacallits.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things are tough. Anyway, Outer Worlds, played a lot of that. I'm loving it. Looking forward to playing more of that. Ghost Recon Breakpoint, I played some with JJ. I played some more Concrete Genie, which I said I would do. Destiny 2, I jumped on with Heartbreak Ridge and played that for a few hours. I played Indivisible, which you talked about a few weeks ago.
Yes. Yeah.
I was not a fan.
No?
Not a fan of Indivisible, and I'll tell you why. It was okay to begin with. Now, what I didn't understand when you were explaining was that each of your characters is assigned to a very specific button press. So one guy is the triangle, one guy is one character is the circle, one character is the X, and one character is the square on PlayStation, obviously. And when they're ready to attack, you just press their button and they attack. And they can have multiple attacks ready to go. And then you can press left 1 to have everybody block, or you press your character's button to have them block an attack. What I found very early, and I got used to that. That was okay. I wasn't expecting that kind of control, but it was okay. And there's no time in the game to select individual enemies. You're just like, just hit whatever whatever.
Yeah, whoever you've got selected already is fine.
Exactly.
Punch that guy.
What I had a lot of trouble with, and it was very, very early in the game, I came across these like big toad creatures. Almost like a king toad or something. It was really weird. Super tough. Like, what I thought the first one I came along to was like a mini boss of some kind. And it took me, I probably died, I think, 5 times before I finally got through them. And then there's no save point. And next thing I know, there's another one in my path. And I'm like, nope, there is no way I'm going through that. I think I tried to kill him. And I died, and it put me back to before the first one.
Oh, yeah, that'll be frustrating.
And I'm like, no, I'm done. I'm sorry, but I'm like an hour into the game, and these are the enemies you're giving me? And it's not like I can go back and level up or anything.
No, because once you've killed an enemy, you've killed an enemy. I did find a little bit of issues with that. Like, if you are not grasping the timing of the controls... And that's what it is. It's about making sure it's almost like a rhythm. It's like I got to go X, X, Y, whatever, in order to string those attacks together. And if you're not getting that, and I had a lot of trouble with it as well. You're gonna get murdered by early enemies.
Yeah, quick. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this. So I promptly quit the game. And I went on to something else. I tried playing Citadel Forged of Fire. This is a game that's been out on Steam for a while. It's now available on Xbox and PS4. And I was given a review code for this. It is it's like the Conan games, Conan or Ark, those games where you're in a world and you just survive. You have to craft everything, including your spells. So this is more like a Wizards and Warriors world. It's a fantasy world. You're dropped in this world, literally, you've got like underwear. You've got underwear and, if you're a female character, a bra, basically, right?
Yeah.
Cloth.
Your unmentionables are covered.
Your unmentionables are covered, but that's literally it. And you have nothing. And you're in a safe zone where you start. You're given a quest. Go get wood and stone. Okay. And I'm walking around. Oh, nope, that's not wood. Nope, where's the stone? I'm seeing rocks, but there's no stone for me to pick up. I'm walking around. Finally, I find it, and I can craft an axe. Woo! Now go find something else. Eventually, it got to the point where it's like, go find... Like, first of all, it was go find stuff that wood, rocks, flowers, certain flowers, you can craft food. And then it says, go find nature's essence. I'm sorry, you want me to find what now?
Yeah, it's like, go find the meaning of life somewhere. Like, what is this arbitrary thing that I don't know what it is?
And there is no explanation as to what it is or where to find it.
Nature's essence. I would say waterfall.
No, it was some
or
weird...
the heart of a deer.
So it was some weird plant out in the non-safe zone. It's this big, huge green ball of, it looks like energy coming out of the ground. And they're on the landscape, but you'd have no idea that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
But here's the issue. First of all, I have no armor. I have an axe as a weapon. That is it. And there are enemies out there that will kill you in 2 hits, and you're told to go out there and get that stuff.
Listen, I don't want to do any of those things in real life. I don't want to get up and go out and get my groceries. Why would I want to play? This is one of the issues I have with it. I know a lot of people love these survival games and stuff like that, where like you have to remember to sleep and you have to remember to eat and you have to cook your food. You have to like, oh, your clothes wore out. You have to make new clothes. All of this stuff. And I get some people really enjoy that, but like I don't want to get up and go out and get my groceries
in real life,
in
let
real
alone
life.
In a game.
You know, like I don't want to get out of bed in the morning and put on pants. So like to like for this sort of thing.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I just these games it just seems like a lot of work. It's like a chore simulator.
Yeah. I will say as well that this is not a good looking game. I don't know. This felt really. I mean, for a game on PS4, I'm playing on Pro in 4K. It looked terrible. Like it really did.
I did because I saw this popped up the other day on the Xbox, and so I took a look. I always take a look at the videos and the screenshots whenever anything new comes up that I haven't really seen or heard of before, and I saw them like this does not look impressive enough for me to want to.
No, it really did not look impressive at all. Like even the character designer was horrible. It just I can't even zoom. You're trying to so you can customize the face. But the game has no mechanism to zoom in to actually see the face you're changing. Like, I can't even see what I'm doing. So I can change the jawline. I can change but I can't actually see what I'm changing.
Yeah, it's not detailed enough.
What? Oh. So anyway, Citadel Forged with Fire, I would just honestly stay away. I do not recommend that game. I'm sorry I don't have footage. I should have pulled up footage from Extra Life. You know, maybe I'll go back in. I'll try to play some, and I'll show you some footage of it, or I'll do a live stream of it if you want to suffer with me. And finally, I have a story to tell about the final. It's not the final game I played, but in the list of everything I've played, it's the final in the list. I played Man of Medan with Aria because this is a game I'm playing through with my daughter because we both loved Until Dawn, and so. I'm playing it. It's about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night when we get to this spot. My Aria's sitting at the end of the table beside me, so she's off camera. She didn't want to be on camera during Extra Life, so she sat beside me, but, you know, off camera. I'm going to play you a clip here, and I'm going to play it at full volume for you, so you're going to hear it. I'm going to warn you right now to be prepared for what's coming. But you will know that, keep in mind, my wife is upstairs sleeping. It's about 11 o'clock at night. And this happens. Rats.
What is it?
Oh my gosh, Aria.
Seriously? Are you trying to freak me out?
My ear was deafened for about 5 minutes. She screamed so loud, right, like a foot away from me. She honestly, somebody needs to capture that scream and put it in a movie. It was classic.
It's the new Wilhelm scream.
Oh my gosh, it was like, I cannot believe she screamed so loud. I mean, I can believe it. My daughter is a soprano. She's got quite the vocal projection. You know, because when she sings, she can sing loud. She can, you know, she's got the power. That's the word I'm looking. She's got power behind her voice.
Yeah.
She used almost her full range of power
to knock your eardrum out.
To genuinely scream, though. It was a genuine scream of terror. And I was like, "Ow, my ear!"
Did she wake anybody up in the house?
She did not. I asked my wife the next day. I'm like, "Did you hear Aria last night?" She no. I told her the story. She says, "I didn't hear a thing." It's like
that is the telltale sign of somebody who's been a mother for a number of years.
For
it's like
22 years.
I don't care if nobody's dead. I don't want to hear about it.
Oh my gosh. Oh, just I can't believe it. Anyway, that was I had to show you. I had to you had to be there. I don't know. I can't remember if anyone was watching at the time cuz
I
it was late at night. So
I did pop on around. I didn't see that. I did pop in because I do remember watching you play that and the disembodied voice as you're
yes,
discussing what to do next
right, yeah.
happening. I remember I did see some of that, some of your gameplay.
Yeah, yeah, she was the disembodied voice. Brian Young, Juggler of Geese, was on, and he chatted and he says hello to whoever's there, because he could hear her talking,
Yeah.
but nobody knew who it was because she didn't want to be on camera. But shall we play that again? Should we play that one more time?
Hang
I
on,
mean,
hang on.
it's okay. Here we go. Ready? Here it is. Yeah, yeah. Plug your ears. Here we go. One more time. Rats.
What is it?
Oh my gosh, Area. I'm sorry.
You know, you got to do is set that as your ringtone on your phone whenever she calls now.
Oh wow. Oh wow. That would be intense. All right, so why don't you talk a little bit about Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which I know you played.
You know, Activision, amazingly enough, has decided they're going to put out another one of these. I know it's a shock to many people that they're going to continue to work with this franchise. But yeah, no, another year of Call of Duty. I believe last year they actually pulled the single player campaign from it, and it was just multiplayer.
Yes, that's right.
So I did not play last year's because I suck at multiplayer. I'm not very good at it at all. They have added a single player campaign back into this, and I will say this: it is the storytelling that they do when they do a good single player campaign. This is like the Modern Warfare teams, or like Modern Warfare 1 and 2 had by far the best stories, and this is a great engaging story.
Yeah, okay.
In this campaign, it's about a 4 to 5 hours. I actually have finished the single player campaign. It's about 4 to 5 hours. It is really well done. It is modern stuff. So you have like current day sort of weaponry, like a few tweaks here and there, but nothing like super fancy or anything like that. But it's a lot of like assaults on bases and compounds and houses and stuff like that. So there's some looks absolutely gorgeous. I will say that it is difficult at times to figure out who you're supposed to be shooting at.
Why do you say that?
Because like everybody's wearing like khaki.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, you've got like and it doesn't have that thing where like your team's names are above their head or anything like that, or the enemies have like a highlight around them.
Like that hostage you just killed?
Again, as I said earlier, when you asked me about the hostage, is you find out later in the story that she was evil and working for the bad guys.
I think that's just your excuse for killing a hostage.
It's subtext that you have to read into.
Of course.
Later on down the line, but yeah, I imagine that must be the case.
If that makes you sleep better at night.
Yeah, listen, somebody jumped out at me. I'm not real good at aiming. I got better towards the end of the game. This is sort of early-ish in the game. I did get better at aiming towards the end of the game. And once you start to
when it no longer mattered.
Yeah. Well, and you sort of realize, but like early on, like there's Piccadilly Circus in the UK. There's a scene there, and it's like there's some terrorists but you're running through. It's like and you, like that tense feeling when you're like, do I pull the trigger? Do I not pull the trigger when somebody jumps out in front of you? Because you don't want to pull the trigger until you see a gun, but they're all dressed the same as the tourists.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right, and so you're like, until they start firing at you, like you don't want to be that guy like mowing down, and it is very tense because you don't want to get shot, but you also don't want to shoot.
Was AI characters actually down, and the other AI character carrying him out of the way?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I believe that's a scripted. That is
moment. Scripted. Okay.
Yeah. That is a scripted thing. Like one of the guys gets shot in a scripted moment, and they pulls them out of the way, and then you continue on. It is a really pretty game. They do a good job.
Okay, sorry, I'm engaged in your video here.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, and that's what I mean. Like, you can't just fire, like like you're in this, like this here. This is a a night vision assault for those who aren't watching the video, and like you jump into a room and like you you're on edge because there's people in this thing who are trying to shoot and kill you.
Yeah.
And you bust into a room and it's a woman with a baby.
And you
right?
and you could have killed her.
You could have like if you twitch on the trigger, you could end up killing people. And you like again
But is there a penalty for doing that?
No.
Oh, really?
Well, I don't know. I never killed the baby, so or the woman with the baby. But I've killed hostages. I've killed hostages. I've killed bystanders. And it doesn't say like, oh, like usually say like, oh, no friendly fire, or you've killed too many civilians, you failed. Like I didn't get that end at any point where it kicks you back. It just lets you go through, and if you kill people, you kill people.
Okay.
So it does make you like you're not as quick to just like fire at everything that moves.
What I find very odd about this is that it's called Modern Warfare. Like that's a name they've already used.
Yeah, well, it's sort of like what they did with like Gears of War, where they just like like a lot of times they just go back to God of War, for example. Like they just went back to just God of War.
Yeah, but wasn't it last year, or at least in the last year or two, they came out with Modern Warfare Remastered?
Yes, they had. Right? So part of Infinite Warfare, I think it was called. They released the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1.
Right. And now they've got a new modern. I mean, you can't have run out of names, is what I'm saying. Why call it Modern Warfare again? I mean, Need for Speed did the same thing.
Yeah,
right.
I think what it is because they want people to be aware of this. They've gone back to that storytelling, that style of storytelling, where they've now added that campaign back in, and they've gone back to that storytelling for it. I think that they're sort of trying to make people come back to it. It's like Rocky when they like they don't call it Rocky 7, they just like Rocky.
Rocky, yeah. Balboa.
Right? Like Balboa or whatever it is. They want people, they don't want to just tag a number onto this. They don't want this isn't Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3
5
or whatever.
Or 6 or 21.
This is a sort of like a new like almost like reinvention of the series, and it is well done. I haven't done any multiplayer. A lot of people play these games solely for the multiplayer.
Yeah.
I don't need to die like 500 times in 5 seconds for me to know that I'm bad at it, so I haven't even bothered. I am interested in doing the Spec Ops missions, which is a co-op missions that you can go through and do. I am interested in doing those. I haven't done those yet either.
If I'm not mistaken, this game is crossplay. I believe it has crossplay available. So we're going to have to give that a try if it actually does have crossplay. We should test that and see, because I'm not sure. I thought it I thought it did, but we'll see. So Tico is frozen right now because I'm apparently losing internet again. This is happening yet again. My internet keeps flaking out on me.
Sean's internet.
Yeah, I do believe I've discovered that it is my PC, not my actual internet. Somehow my PC keeps disconnecting from the router, and I don't know why. This happened during Extra Life at hour 19, and for the next hour or more, it kept coming in and out and in and out and in and out. I ended up having to stream directly from my PS4 for the rest of the night. For the last 5 hours of Extra Life, I ended up streaming directly from PS4 with 0 issues. So I believe the issue is either the network card in my computer, or it's the cable, and I don't know which. So what I might do is run out and get like a Wi-Fi card for my PC and see if that fixes anything. So I am going to now talk a little bit about Death Stranding, which just came out today.
The new PS4 exclusive by that guy.
By Hideo Kojima.
That's him.
Yes, so Death Stranding. Holy crap, what an absolutely gorgeous game, first of all. I will not tell you what the story is about because I have yet to figure that out. It is a very strange world in which you are thrown, and I don't quite understand what's going on, if I'm being very, very honest. And I don't know if they're doing that on purpose, like you're going to learn this as you play. But
How far into it are you now?
oh, like just a couple hours. Like this is I only just got a review copy of it yesterday.
Okay.
So and it was just released today. We're recording on Friday, November 8th, and I got it like yesterday. So I was able to play a little bit last night. What I do love about this one, first of all, it's gorgeous. I mean, it looks photorealistic. Everything about this game looks absolutely photorealistic. It's hard to believe this is a video game. You know, when you're actually that the places in this game is a video game.
Yeah.
And the color seems a little bit weird for some reason in the video right now. But I'm not sure why. Ever since I set up for Extra Life, something's gone wonky. But anyway, you're a delivery guy. Like you pick things up, you throw it on your back, and you deliver from one location to another. And that's where the game starts. You're just traversing over this terrain. And the details in it, like, for example, because you're carrying these big things on your back, you can actually lose balance. And you have to correct for that balance, otherwise you'll fall or
You have to lean forward.
or compensate left to right, right? So if you're leaning to the right, you have to hold down left trigger to balance to the left and reverse that imbalance. If you're running downhill, you press left and right, and what he does is he holds his pack, so he gives himself a better of a center of balance, and he kind of hunches a little bit to hold his balance, so he doesn't fall down forward if you're moving forward, right? So he can balance himself. Or like in the video now, he's going through a stream, so I'm holding both the left and right trigger to keep my balance against the water. So little details like that, it's actually very cool. It's very intuitive. I'll tell you that. Like it's a very different way to control a character, but I felt like it was very intuitive. And I had zero issues picking up that concept.
And there's like the actual types of action. Like, is there a lot of action in it? Is there?
I haven't gotten to any action parts yet. Very early on, you are... So the BTs, which are these mysterious creatures we've all seen in the videos up until now, like leading up to it, these black spectral creatures, that they basically, if there's whenever it rains, for whatever reason, if the rain hits something, it ages you. The rain itself, for some reason, fast forwards the lifespan of what it hits.
Okay, that's weird. Rain.
Well, and I don't know if it's the rain or if it's the presence of the BTs at the same time. I haven't quite figured that out. Yeah, it's like the time falls or something like that. And they keep talking about like this other dimension or this the other side or something. And then the little baby that he carries is called the Bridge Baby. Because the Bridge Baby somehow is a bridge between this world and the other. And that's all I can figure out is I don't understand what they haven't explained enough. Now, 2 hours into this game, it's been like an hour and a half of cutscenes. Okay, I mean that's typical.
There are lots of cutscenes. Well, just real quick, what the heck are you carrying?
Oh, I'm carrying a dead body right now in this video.
Okay.
Because
in
whenever
a sleeping bag for some reason.
Well, it's wrapped up, and I'm trying to get it to the incinerator because dead bodies will necrofy or something like that, which is they have to incinerate them before they necrofy.
Okay.
So you have to get it to an incinerator. So on the video right now, this is the most action I've seen where I got caught by a BT and I'm being pulled down in this like muck. You know, and I'm trying to struggle against the oily muck, and eventually it basically grabs me and pulls me, and I have to run and get out of the way. That is the most action I've had so far in the 2 hours I've played the game. But I feel like this is one of those you can't succeed in this because we need to teach you what happens when you don't succeed.
I hate those things. You know, let me succeed and then go to another cutscene where it comes back and grabs me or something. But don't, because I've had that. I think it was Sekiro, where there was an early boss fight where it's unwinnable.
Yeah, but you're trying to beat it.
But you try to do it, and if you're not terrible at stuff, sometimes you can like delay that. Like I fought this guy for like 25 minutes.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to beat him.
You're not supposed to. You can't beat it. He's unbeatable. So like I fought this guy like fending off attacks and like for 25
minutes. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I just stood there.
Yeah.
Like, why am I wasting all of this time? It does not make you feel good about anything when you do that. It does not make you feel like, oh man, like I should have known better. It just makes you feel frustrated that you wasted that time that you was unwinnable in the first place.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's the case in this particular instance, but it kind of felt like it because you're told to, you have to crouch to stay away from the BTs, and then you have to hold your breath, so you can't breathe because I guess they sense your breath. So you have to hold your breath, but that also... I kept putting my hand in front of my mouth. Sorry if that changed my audio. Because physically he puts his hand on his mouth and nose. And that takes away from your stamina, so you can only hold it for so long. My problem was you're told to do this, but I didn't understand what exactly I was supposed to be doing at that moment. Right?
Like what the end goal is. Like,
right. I didn't know where should I be going. What am I supposed to do? How do I stay away from them? It wasn't quite clear to me. So you're just kind of thrown in and said, survive. Okay. So the overall story, by the sounds of it, is to rebuild the United Cities of America. And Sam Porter Bridges, which is... what's his name? Oh my gosh, my brain's gone. Daryl from The Walking Dead. Why can't I think of his name? Anyway, that's his character. And so you basically have to traverse across the country. That is, as far as I've gotten, that is the story. I haven't actually started that traversal yet.
Okay.
Now, my understanding is the game will slowly dole out new abilities and new technology as the game goes. One thing I thought was really fantastic is just the whole theatrics of this game. The music. There's like theme music playing. You can slightly hear it here in the video right now. But there's other times when you're just traversing from one terrain to another. You're trying to get to a goal, and then suddenly the camera just slowly pans out a little further away from your character, and music starts, like a scene from a movie. And the camera just follows you from a little bit further away as you're traversing, while music is playing. And I'm like, that's very theatrical. And it's welcome, It's so cool. I loved it. That was like a really neat thing to add. So yeah, I mean, beautiful game. Like I said, it's got a very theatrical feel to it. A lot of cutscenes so far. Like, it's been... very intense cutscenes, too. I was watching one very intense cutscene. Dorothy came down with dinner, and she said, "Dinner's ready," and she startled me, like, out of my chair, because I was so intent on what was going on.
Focused.
I was
so focused on it.
Yeah. No, and I wasn't playing. I was just watching, because it's a very fascinating game to watch, to play, to view. I mean, wow. It is so well done, but... controls, well, like I said, the controls feel intuitive. I had no issues with any of the controls. They felt right. They felt good. The speed of the character is good. Like I think back to like Red Dead Redemption and how much I hated it because of the speed of the character. And there's just something right about his speed in this game. It just feels right. It feels natural, not some slow trod.
Yeah.
And he can run. Like this isn't a run. This is a normal pace, and then you can run on top of that. So
okay, that I like. I hate those ones where it's like, we're just gonna slow you right down. So like, hey, you need to go from here to here, but it's gonna feel so painful.
Yeah, like Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I'll be talking more about Death Stranding as the week go by, as I continue playing. It's very fascinating. It is kind of scary, I would say, with the BTs because, and I think it might be purposeful that they're writing it this way because you don't understand what they are. You don't understand where they come from or what they actually do. And so that bit of fear kind of adds to you as a player trying to stay away from them. So
they're Dementors.
they certainly feel like Dementors, let me tell you. They really do. So anyway, that is Death Stranding. I think we've been talking games for a long time already on this show.
A very long time.
So why don't we move on actually to a game? Let's play a game. I didn't actually choose one, but do you want to play Brain Cage or do you want to do Lone Wolf this week? What do you think?
Let me see where Lone Wolf is sitting on my stack of games, and I will see if I can reach it comfortably.
All right. If not, I've got Brain Cage right here.
Yeah, I can get it.
All right. Let's do it. Grab it. Oh, he's got to get up. Now he's reaching for a game. This is really good radio. I have to describe what he's doing. All right. Now he's sitting back down, picking up his headphones, and he's back.
And I'm back. Yeah, I found a place that had some really good sales on a few board games, and so I have purchased a few things recently because they were already cheap to begin with, and then they offered another 20% off on top of that on like newer stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I ended up getting Terror Below, Jaws, the Die Hard Nakatomi Heist game.
That's cool.
So there's some stuff we'll have to play at some point. But
for now, let's just do a random Lone Wolf. Random. Just pick one. And I'm going to get my piece of paper. I'm going to write down 1 through 5 down the side with a tie at the bottom. And listeners, you can do the same.
All right.
And play along with us at home or on the bus or at work, wherever you are.
All right. I have...
And let's hope my internet survives you reading this.
All right. Now tell me if we've done this one or not before. Weapon of choice.
No, we haven't. Let's do it. Weapon of choice.
All right. Weapon of choice. The question is, name the weapon of choice for these fictional characters.
Okay. Fictional. Let's do it.
Fictional. All right. Luke Skywalker.
All right. I guess that would be depending on which movie, right? But I'll go with the typical one.
All right. Katniss Everdeen.
Okay, got it. Next.
Napoleon Dynamite.
He has a weapon?
Apparently.
I you know what? I never made it through that movie.
I have seen it. I have no idea. I've written something down based off of what I think the character would do.
I don't even know. So anyway, I know he's got skills.
And I'm now.
We've lost. Hang on a second. We have lost.
Down.
So we've lost you, Tico. We need.
What? No,
we need number 4. I didn't hear you.
Oh, Raphael from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, that's easy because he's my favorite.
It's your favorite?
Yep.
All right. And then Shaun of the Dead.
Okay, I think I can picture that one.
It's got the same name as you, just spelled different.
It's spelt wrong.
Different.
What is the tie?
How much does Bud say he pawned a Hanzo sword for in Kill Bill 2?
Sorry, read that again.
How much does Bud say he pawned a Hanzo sword for in Kill Bill Volume 2?
Oh gosh, I have no idea. How much did he pawn it for?
I have no idea either.
I'm putting down a number.
Although that's probably the same sword that was used in Pulp Fiction when they're in the pawn shop.
Oh, it could have been.
All of Tarantino's stuff is all...
It's all linked?
Linked. So...
All right, number 1 obviously is a lightsaber.
It is a... No, it is... No, it's a lightsaber, yeah.
I was going to say, it could have been a... It could have been a blaster, because he starts with a blaster. Katniss Everdeen is a bow and arrow.
Bow and arrow is correct.
And 3, I have no idea.
I wrote down nunchucks, and
And
the answer was nunchucks.
good job. Good. I had no idea. I didn't finish the movie. Number 4 is Psy.
That is correct.
Number 5, I'm going to say like a cricket paddle or a bat.
It is a cricket bat.
Yeah.
And that is correct.
And the tie. Did you also get the cricket bat?
I'm 5 for 5.
Okay, so you got Psy as well for Raphael. I put like $5,000 for the Hanzo sword.
So I put down $500.
And?
It was $250.
All right, you win.
So yeah, Hanzo sword is absolutely worth. It's a priceless sword. But if he's pawning it, I'm guessing that he's just going to get like it's a sword at the pawn shop. They're not going to be like, oh well, this is worth a ton of money.
Exactly.
So, all right, do we want to do one more?
No, I think that's good for this week. We only got 15 minutes left to talk about some new TV and movies and stuff. So let's move on to that. So Apple TV, some Apple TV shows showed up. Dorothy and I sat down and watched the first 3 episodes of the new Jason Momoa show. So we're fans of Jason Momoa, and of course he's in a show called See, which is a world SEE, which is a world that basically everybody in the world after an apocalyptic event, centuries later, humans are blind. They are born blind. Everybody is blind. They live in a world of non-vision, and that is just the way the world is. So it's now to the point where if you have the vision, you are a heretic. You are considered a witch because you have the vision.
You can see.
And so this basically follows Bubba Voss, who is Momoa's character, and his adopted twins. So he takes in a pregnant woman who was impregnated by one of these heretics, Jerlam Moreau or something like that. And he's being hunted. The Jurler guy is being hunted. So now, of course, his children are born with the vision. And it just goes from there. It's showing this world. But I have to tell you, I am still not 100% sold on this show. It seems very weird. And it seems almost implausible with the way they've designed the world. I don't know. There's just something so implausible about the whole thing.
I have watched 1 episode so far. I did enjoy it. I do like these sort of post-apocalyptic ideas, but it's very similar. It's the way everybody acts, like that when they're in the battle and everything like that. It's a lot of the stuff that's like, people are throwing punches and stuff like that, but they're not throwing punches like a blind guy would throw punches. And it makes me feel like they can clearly, it's a choreographed, everybody can see everything. It does not feel like 2 blind guys fighting.
I agree.
And I don't know what that should look like or what it would look like.
I
agree. It
just
doesn't feel like it is.
I agree to a point. And part of the suspension of disbelief is you have to remember that this is literally the world for centuries. This is centuries of growing up without sight. Okay, yeah. So this is not like just somebody born blind or becomes blind.
I don't know. I would expect more like Daredevil type things. Or you remember the Rutger Hauer movie Blind Fury?
No.
I know it's a deep hole, but there's a movie like he's a samurai who's blind, and it's a whole thing where he's like that stop and listening thing that you know.
They do that.
They don't, but like they do that in certain moments, but when they have those big group battles, it's just guys jumping in and swinging and punching in spots, and they like miss because the guy just moved, but they knew where the guy was somehow to make that strike without any
and I agree
to the punch.
Like I said, I do agree to a point. They did show, for example, Baba Voss stopping and listening, but you're right, in a large group battle like that, it would be hard to hear anything other than all the fighting.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like it would be one of those, I'm going to swing my arms like this and just keep walking until I hit some people.
Yeah. And how do they even know who it is? How do they know the enemy versus their own people?
Yeah.
But anyway, there's a lot of, I don't know, I'm struggling with it. And I'm struggling with the queen of this other location. Like, there's just seems to be stuff in it they're throwing in there, like for shock value almost.
I think part of what it is we can see everything that's happening too. Like when like movies like the Sandra Bullock one, where on Netflix, where everybody couldn't look because the monster was going to murder them.
Yes.
They built the tension up really well
The
because
bird box.
the bird box, and because they showed you the view from behind, they blindfolded the camera basically.
Yeah.
And they ratchet up the tension with that, and I don't feel this so far. I mean, I've only watched the one episode, but I don't feel like the tension of being blind. It almost feels like, could you have just not had everybody was infertile, or they had no sense of smell? Like, would that have changed? How much would that change the storyline if you really wanted to?
I'm curious to see where the show is going. I'll tell you what's weird about the show. For me, what I find personally strange is I'm watching the show, I'm feeling that sort of, I need to suspend my belief. I don't. It's some of the decisions they make is weird, like the Queen for some reason, and I feel like it's literally just there for shock value. In order for her to pray to the gods or to God, she has to masturbate while praying.
Oh yeah.
What is that? What is that? Like, what piece does that? What does that even bring to the story? Honestly, that's literally just shock value. And I was like, what is the point? Anyway, it does. I mean, whatever. But here's the weird thing: every single episode ends with a cliffhanger where you're like, oh, I gotta know what happens next. So they definitely know how to keep you viewing. And yet, at the same time, I'm like, but I don't really want to keep viewing.
It's like, I've decided I'm going to pass. Oh, well, that's happening now.
Right.
Okay, maybe.
Right.
I think it's, a 10 episode. I think all of these are around 10 episodes
I think
long.
8. I think C is 8 episodes. So I'm probably going to watch it through. See, first seasons can always be, touch and go.
So there's 4 shows that have premiered so far. C, Dickinson, which is the life and times of Emily Dickinson.
Yeah, that's like a 30. It's like a 30-minute show. So is that like a sitcom?
I don't know what it is, to be honest. I haven't watched that one yet.
I might watch that. It kind of seems interesting.
And then there is For All Mankind, which is something about the moon landing.
It is an alternate Earth where it is an alternate history tale where the Russians made it to the moon before the Americans did, and it starts at the moon landing in 1969 with the Russians basically winning the moon race, the space race, and the repercussions since. So it's an alternate history, starting with the moon landing, with Russia being there first before the Americans.
I'll have to check that one out. And then the last one that has showed up so far is one called The Morning Show.
I want to watch that. That's Steve Carell and Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, so this is Steve Carell, Jennifer Aniston, and Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah.
They work on a morning show, like a Regis and Kelly type morning show. And the episode, the show starts with Steve Carell's character is fired from the show for allegations of improper sexual behavior.
Yeah, for the Me Too movement.
Basically for the Me Too movement.
Yep.
And it's how he's dealing with that, and it's really interesting because there's a standpoint from this where he's shown as both a villain and a victim at the same time.
Interesting.
Where like his character is sympathetic, and I don't know if it's because it's Steve Carell from The Office, but he does a really good job of playing. Like his actions, what he's done is not okay. Like he had consensual affairs at work, and that it came out, and because of his power, at the network, it was deemed that it was inappropriate behavior. It was and people came forward and complained that they felt coerced into a relationship with him. So he was fired, and so he is both the villain because of this, but he's also shown as a sympathetic character at the same time.
I think Steve Carell is actually a really good actor, to be honest with you.
He's a fantastic actor.
I've seen him in so many different things. Very powerful. Yeah. Like the light, was it Welcome to Marwen?
Yes.
Wow, was that ever a powerful story?
Yeah, he's a great actor. Jennifer Aniston plays his co-host on the show, and it shows her side of things too. Because he's been fired, the network's now going, well, that they were Ma and Pa America on the show. well, if Pa's gone, we don't want Ma anymore, and so it's showing the network not really wanting her, and the repercussions for how she's going to have deal with this, and what she has to do in order to sort of stay relevant and stuff like that as well. So it's a very interesting show so far. One episode in, it is pretty good. I would recommend this one.
Now, because it's Apple TV and they can do whatever they want, I'm just curious because I think some of the previews had some cursing in it. But is there a lot? Is there just a little?
No more than you or I use on a regular daily basis.
Well, I don't use it at all, so.
Then,
okay, no, that
so I've made. I'll swear some extra to make up for what you have.
No,
there is some swearing, but it is swearing in scenarios where it's not like
it's not all the time. It's not all the time.
It's not Deadwood, where it's like, well, we're going to use this as a descriptive word. It's in an emotional scene, somebody will use.
Yeah. So no more than like Treadstone, which I've also been watching.
Yes.
We watched 4 episodes of Treadstone, another new show, and this is based on an organization from the Bourne series by Robert Ludlum, which is funny because it says that at the beginning of every episode. It's not based on the Bourne series. It's based on an organization from the Bourne series by Robert Ludlum.
Yeah,
so
based off of the books.
So the Treadstone is basically, it's like Treadstone is the organization that trained these operatives, made the operatives like Jason Bourne. And so this is a sequel to the Bourne. It takes place after the Bourne movies because they keep referencing the Blackbriar stuff. They keep referencing the events from New York, which is the Jason Bourne movies. This show is really good. I'm really enjoying Treadstone.
And the action is fantastic in this
superb action. Superb.
It is like movie quality.
It is
cinematic fights. It's not like, where you see like a guy throw a punch and duck, like what you see on like the CW shows and stuff like that, where it's like, guys ducking under. It's a whole choreography. This is like what you'd expect to see in a Jason Bourne movie, the type of choreography and fight scenes that they've got.
There's car chase scenes with explosions and cars barreling and around like upside down, and it's just like the whole show is definitely movie quality TV. It's so well done. The story is a little hard to piece together where it's actually going. But I'm really, really enjoying Treadstone. It's definitely worth a watch. If you're a fan of the Bourne movies, watch Treadstone. It is actually so well done. And it's along the same lines as where you've got these operatives that are being awakened. And nobody knows why they're being awakened. In fact, some of them don't even know that they're finding out they've been programmed.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's going on? What am I doing? And so some of them work, some of them are defectives, really, really well told. It's definitely worth watching. I love it. It's great. You saw Terminator. I need to know about this. We've got a few minutes left.
Yeah, so I went to see the Terminator Dark Fate movie. This is the direct sequel to Terminator 2.
I have heard nothing but good things about this.
So I've heard both good and bad, since I've seen it. Apparently it's going to lose a ton of money.
I have heard that as well. It's not doing well in the box office, but the people who have seen it are saying this is what a sequel to T2 should be.
This does. It feels like it's part, and it like Terminator 4. There's a bunch of the other ones that are like now no longer canon. They've been erased from the face of the earth. Yep. It is now Terminator, T2, and now Dark Fate are part of.
Yeah.
And it is well done. Linda Hamilton and Arnold reprise their roles in the movie. It is well done. And one of the things I really like, I don't want to spoil anything.
No spoilers.
So I'm gonna say it's well done. You get you do get a new Terminator. You do get a new Protector. You get a new Target in the movie.
Yeah.
Which
I think has all been seen in the trailers.
Yeah, and Arnold and Linda Hamilton are in it. Arnold is obviously, the deep fake thing in order to make him, some of his stuff looks like really, really young. And Linda Hamilton as well. Some of the early flashback scenes are done with that sort of technology to make them look young. And then
they do flashbacks of when they're younger.
Yeah, like there's a little bit, but then Arnold is also in it in his current. I don't know. He looks like, well, he's still made up to make him look not too old, but you can see that the Terminator's age. He's got.
Well, they do because it's living skin.
Yeah. So and you can see that like he has aged since then. It is very, very interesting to see his role in this movie. It is a fun role seeing him like this.
A lot of people questioned, well, why is the Terminator old? How do you explain that? I'm like, it was explained in the first Terminator film that these cyborgs are covered with living skin, and the Terminators can live for centuries. The skin would eventually die and fall off, and they would just be the exoskeleton. But it was explained in the first film that they are covered with living organic skin. That is why they are a cyborg. You know, it's a cybernetic organism.
Yeah.
So they answered it in the first movie. Weren't you listening? Anyway, I've been a huge Terminator fan for years, so it's like I have no questions. Like I don't question why the Terminator looks old, because he is old. He's aging.
It is well done. It is a fun movie. There's stuff I'd love to chat about, but I don't want to spoil any of the revelations that come about.
Then we'll wait a little bit before we do that. I haven't seen it yet. I'm hoping to go see it with Dorothy.
Yeah, based off of their box office, I'm the only one who's seen it so far. So
it makes me sad because I'd love to see them do more.
And I mean, James Cameron was involved with this. This is his vision for the sequel. It just has not. It's unfortunate it hasn't sold well. I think it'll do well in the video market.
Well, the problem is the world has grown weary of the Terminator films. That's the problem. Had this movie come out in the 90s after T2, it would have done phenomenal. But anyway, we've only got we're pretty much at time. There's one last thing I want to talk about because this was like so bizarre to me to see. There is a show coming up for Apple TV Plus called Servant, and it's an M. Night Shyamalan film. Now, I'm a fan. I know a lot of people don't like him. I've been a fan of M. Night Shyamalan. Me too.
I like his stuff.
I've been a fan of him since the I See Dead People, Sixth Sense. Thank you.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of him since then. I loved most of his movies. Not all great, I get it, but he's got a new show coming called Servant. And here's what's weird about this show: it is a thriller, which I'm interested in, but there are the two main characters. Two married couple in this show is Sean and Dorothy. Not only is Sean spelled correctly, for those of you who don't know, Dorothy is my wife's name. Not only is Sean spelled correctly, my way, S-E-A-N, but the character of Dorothy in the show is a redhead, like my wife. And I'm going to quote this child, because it's not a real child. That's the whole part of the thriller.
Yeah.
The child in the show is also a redhead like my children. What are the chances any show, anything out there would have all of these coincidences in it? It is so... When I read this, I'm like, I'm sorry, the characters are what now? Sean and Dorothy? And then I looked at the trailer and Dorothy is a redhead? What's going on here? Where are the hidden cameras?
This is a creepy supernatural thriller.
Yes.
So this is going to be good. I did not just hire a nanny. So this is not based on real life. Hopefully. Now you're thinking about it now, though.
Oh my goodness.
I'm really glad to see it gets expensive. I saw a breakdown if somebody were to these cable cutters who want to get rid of their cable.
It's ridiculous
if they want to get
now.
All of these things, it's over $90 US to subscribe to your Disney Plus, your Netflix, your Apple, your everything that you've got. But I do like that. I do like what we're getting out of this. That because there are so many of them, and they need to bring people in, they need to create content. So, Apple and Netflix and Disney is making content specifically for this. So we are getting...
And they're not wasting any money on these things. They're not... What's the word? They're not sparing any expense.
Yeah, they are not cutting corners. This is not like, like some crappy stuff. We're getting some good series. I just watched on Netflix Daybreak, last week, which was a super fun, fantastic series. These Apple TV, so you can see the quality that they're putting into this. Disney Plus starts in, what is it? Is it the 12th?
4 days.
4 days.
Yeah.
4 days, and we're going to see some content on there. I am glad that we are seeing more stuff getting made.
The Mandalorian. It's coming soon. I can't wait.
4 days.
I have 4 days. Anyway, we are well over time. I wanted to talk that little bit story about Servant because I just found it so bizarre that these characters are my wife and my name. It's weird. For example, whenever there's a Sean in a movie or TV, it's always spelled the wrong way. But this is not only spelled the right way, but it's also my wife's name, and they're a married couple. It's so weird to see. Anyway, That is pretty much it for episode number 348. We are almost at 350, Tico. Can you believe that?
It's pretty crazy that it has been. That's a long time.
That's 7 years. We're basically 7.5 years into this show now. It's crazy. But that is it. Thank you everybody for listening. Thank you for watching. You can follow me pretty much everywhere as Ziantane, and that is XIANTAYNE. Give us a like, subscribe, and comment if you're right here on the YouTubes. And if you're not watching us YouTube, then come check us out at youtube.com/OMGNexus.
All right, you can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Second Place, and the show, you can follow that on Twitter at the OMG Hour.
Thanks, everybody. We'll be back next week. Take care.
Bye, guys.
This has been an OMGNexus.com production.